My mother wanted me to call her affair partner dad and force him into my life, but when she found out that my father already has a girlfriend, she went nuts. My mom and I don't have a good relationship. This was really because she cheated on my dad with my stepdad. I was 10 at that time. I remember watching my mom and dad fight. My dad was crying and saying, "Why did she do this to him? Why did she break our family?" She didn't stay. She left us and went to have her perfect life with my stepdad. I knew why. I was a kid but still understood that she broke a promise to my dad. The very mom who told me to always keep promises broke her vow. I was devastated. I would cry because our house felt empty. My dad spiraled into depression and alcohol, but he came out clean just for me. I saw the amount of dedication my father gave to just provide some stability. He was there for me when I cried holding our family photo. I sometimes saw him holding that picture of us and being sad. I wish she could just understand how much I was hurt, but she didn't. She married my stepdad after 5 months of divorce. She only gave me a vague half-assed apology. She didn't even apologize to my dad for her infidelity. I remember our camping trip when I was 8 and we took a picture. I also went on a trip with her new family. She wanted to recreate the same picture, except this time it was with my stepdad. It just made me angry, because it looked like she wanted to replace my dad with a homewrecker. As I grew up, I saw the difference between my mom and dad. My dad was always concerned about my well-being, providing me stability and an open space to show my emotions, whereas my mom was only concerned that I accepted her husband as my family. She kept pushing and trying to get him involved in my life. She even asked me to call him dad. That was the first time I lashed out at her. I told her I already have a dad and I will never replace him with anyone. She got upset and told me, "When you grow up you will know why I did what I did. It was wrong, but you will understand what led me to it." I am almost 18. I still don't understand why she had to hurt me and my dad. Last year my mom, Alan, and I had a huge fight. I called my mom a cheating whore who destroyed my family. I also called Alan a homewrecker and said, "I hope your own son gets cheated on so that you know what the pain is like." Alan screamed at me that he is tired of my poop. I left their house and went to stay with dad. I thought it was so unfair that my mom lives happily ever after and my dad was left behind to pick the pieces of our broken home. That's when my dad sat me down and told me that I should have never talked to my mom like that. Sure, she made a bad choice, but she is still my mother. And then he told me he forgave her and it was for the best that I forgave her because it would make me free. He tells me he is dating someone else and he is happy with the life he has now, though there are some triggers. I was happy to hear that my dad was doing okay, and it made me realize I was being irrational. I am still mad at mom, but I decided to give her a chance. I said sorry to both my mom and stepdad. I also said sorry to my stepbrother and my half-brother. Things have been calm and cool for a while. I met my dad's girlfriend. She seems awesome. Though she is much younger than my dad, I didn't care. As long as dad is happy, I am happy for him. So, a few days ago, I was chatting with my mom. I brought up the fact that I met my dad's girlfriend this week and she seems nice. My mom's expression changes. She went from having a smile to a frown. She says, "I didn't know your dad was dating." I said I didn't either, but my dad is taking things slow. I told her she was nice and cool. My mom then lashed out and called me a hypocrite. She said that for years her stepdad and her have been trying hard to make me forgive them. They went out of their way to make it right, and I still didn't accept them. But I accepted my dad's girlfriend in a heartbeat, and suddenly she was this cool stepparent. I was angry too, so I blurted out, "At least you didn't cheat on my dad like you." I also said that I would never accept my stepdad as a good human because he is the reason why I grew up in a broken family. That I do not owe them anything after how they treated my dad. I respect my dad's girlfriend more than I respect them because at least she didn't cheat on him and left him to pick up the broken pieces of our family. She is the reason why dad is happy now and she will always be above my stepdad. I stormed out and stayed with a friend. Update: I called my mom to say sorry, but instead, my stepdad picked it up. I asked for my mom and he said that mom has locked herself in their bedroom because she is pissed. My mom has this habit that whenever she is mad she locks herself in a room. I asked why, and he said that they fought with my dad. My mom had a hint that my dad was dating someone a few weeks ago when he saw him at the local market with his girlfriend. At that time, I knew he had a girlfriend but didn't tell mom. She took the liberty to track her on Facebook. My stepdad has caught her several times looking at my dad's girlfriend. There were pictures of dad and her too. So, they argued that my mom was obsessed with my dad's girlfriend and had been stalking her. My stepdad said I shouldn't speak to her for a while because she has some issues of her own. She came to visit me at my dad's house. My dad rarely sees her, so he was also shocked to see her. She looked a bit out of the place, as if she was entering Narnia. She wanted to talk to me and my dad. Dad went inside his room to give us some privacy to talk. Then we sat down. She apologized to me for acting so irrationally and never taking my feelings into account. I don't know what happened, but I asked her if she ever felt any guilt for cheating on my dad. She cried and said that she has always been guilty of how things ended between my dad and her. She does regret it and wishes she could have handled it better. She has spent 7 years or more with my stepdad, but deep down she still had feelings for my dad. Someday she even wakes up and guilt washes over her. She regrets ever starting the affair. The problem was not my dad or my stepdad. The problem was her. And she knows she has messed up a lot. I asked her why she was so obsessed with Layla, dad's girlfriend. She told me that ever since their divorce there has always been a little spark of hope that someday she and dad would be together. She knows it is foolish for her to think that, but her subconscious mind was telling her that she and dad were the end game. But learning that he has moved on and started dating just freaked her out. I told her that was bullshit because she was the one who married her AP and went on to have a family with him. It is so disgusting and immoral for her to even think that, especially after she was the one who cheated and left. If she still thinks that she has a chance with dad, then she is either delusional or simply stupid. After our conversation ended, my mom and dad talked in his room. I didn't try to eavesdrop or try to listen, so I do not know what they talked about. But after coming out of the room, my mom looked very defeated. After that, we talked a little and she bid us goodbye. I did tell her that I want her in my graduation and other big events, but I want to have some boundaries when it comes to my stepdad.